Friends of the Southwest Wildlife Foundation. Martin Tyner here. And my beautiful wife Susan and I are on a bit of a quest. We are heading north to Salt Lake City, to Salt Lake International Airport, to pick up our newest wildlife ambassador and new friend, which will be a young female Harris Hawk. And now we're getting this Harris Hawk from a captive breeding program out of Louisiana. And so this is not a hawk that's been taken from the wild. This is a hawk that comes out of a captive breeding program. The program in Louisiana, they breed a lot of Harris Hawks and make them available for falconry.
You forgot about.
So we just try, we try to keep the information.
Can you see her?
Yeah, I just barely see her.
Thank you. Okay, I just need to check it in. Copy.
You want a phone line or anything, or?
All right, I'll let her know.
She's just sitting there quiet.
Nice, he zip tied the doors shut so that nobody can peek. That's the only safe way.
Well, here's our little girl. Now we have a 4-hour drive back to Cedar City. So we'll see how this goes tonight. One foot anyway. I get the other foot. The other foot. There we are. Okay. There's my pretty girl. Oh, there's my pretty girl. Hi. Hey, pretty girl.
Everything's so scary.
So you just put her down there and go ahead and get those feet, if you could. Got her?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now I need feet individually. Let's see where we're at here. See which of these.
Looks like the bigger one.
Very first time.
I'll move this table away.
Go ahead, let her go.
Oops, so good.
And so this is her first time being handled. And so we're going to see if we can get her to stand on my glove for just a minute. Oh, there's my girl. There's my pretty girl. Oh, yes, you are. I know. We're going to be good friends. We really are. So this is our very first time for her to be on my glove. And she's such a pretty girl. She is. What a pretty baby. Yes, you are. You're my pretty girl. Yes, you are. And you and I are going to be good friends. We're going to be good friends. Well, good morning, and welcome to day 3 of working with our new wildlife ambassador and dear friend. Her name is Belle, and she is a 20-week-old female Harris Hawk from a captive breeding program in New Orleans. And see that little tail wiggle? That little tail wiggle is really a very, very good sign, because Harris Hawks do that when they greet their family members, and so she's starting to accept me as a member of her clan, and so we love to see her wiggle her tail. That's a very, very positive sign of, hello, I know who you are. Now it's still very early in the training stages, and we still have to be really gentle when we approach her and pick her up, because everything right now is so critical. You don't want to frighten them, you don't want to upset them, you want to be very, very gentle so that you maintain that friendship with these hawks. And friendship's probably the wrong word, because that's not why they come back to us. But that confidence and that trust that we need. That's okay, huh, baby? Huh, Belle? Shall we see what the hood looks like today for you? Now this is our hood, and this is something we have to acclimate them to. And we've been very, very careful. We just lightly stroke her holding the hood, lightly stroke her with the hood to kind of get her to think that the hood is not going to hurt her and it's okay. And then we quietly bring the hood up and put it over her eyes. Oh, there we go. Okay, good girl. And we only leave it on, at this stage, we only leave it on for a short time, just a minute or so. So she starts to get used to how that fits and how that goes on. And we're not going to transport her with the hood. So there's my pretty girl. Oh yeah, you're doing wonderful. That's a good hood lesson. That was a very good hood lesson. It really was, sweetie. Very good hood lesson. Yes, it was. And a lot of falconers don't understand why I get right up in nose to nose. And this is actually, this is very much a trust thing. The birds start to understand that, you know, I trust her completely, that she's not going to rip a big chunk of flesh off my nose, and I'm very calm and comfortable with her, and that makes her feel more comfortable with me. And this is our very first trip away from home, out into the wild environment with her, and so we'll go ahead and start getting her. Now I always have to start with, I have the leash on her, and I have that wrapped around my hand a couple of times, and I crack the door very gently to make sure that we're good, and I bring my hand in very quietly and slowly so that she hopefully, there's my girl, come on Belle, there's my pretty girl, see, here's Belle. Now as soon as I get her out, before I do anything, because I've got a good grip on that thing, I want her clipped to my glove. And that's extremely important because it only takes a split second for her to jump, and if I lose grip on this cord, she flies away with this dangling from her. And if she does that, we've got a dead bird, because this will wrap around fence posts, this will wrap around barbed wire, this will wrap around branches and trees, and they'll end up hanging themselves to death. And so the leash is a necessity, but if it can be very dangerous if you're not extremely careful with it. And we're now just going to quietly, we're just going to walk. We're going to try to get her used to the movements of being on the glove. Yes, that's a good girl. And so we're just going to walk a little bit, and I've got her hood, and we can kind of get her used to the idea of the hood, and we're going to touch her. And this is actually one of the best parts of falconry. This is the time that you build the relationship with the animal, and this is the time when you can watch them thinking and watch them use their brains and try to understand the environment and what's going on. And it's really, it's a tremendous educational time. It's really just so much fun to see everything that these guys are doing and thinking and trying to understand, because it's a new world for them. It's a very new world. If you can imagine that 3 days ago she was in Louisiana and she was in a large flight chamber with a dozen other sibling Harris Hawks, and she was caught up and put in a very small box, put on an airplane and flown for about 4 or 5 hours to Salt Lake City, you know, with a lot of bumps and a lot of people handling her and a lot of disturbance, and it was very frightening to her, I'm sure. And so we now, my job right now is to convince her that all that scary stuff is done. All the scary stuff is done, and now she's got a new family member. In fact, not only myself, but my beautiful wife Susan, who's shooting the video, and our grandchildren and our friends. She's got a whole new pack to be introduced to, and we're very, very nice people. Yes, we are. We're nice people. Huh, sweetie? And we just try to make sure that this whole process goes along so she feels safe and comfortable. Did the bath feel good? Will you flop around and get me soaking wet now?
Why not?
That's your job? Okay, Belle. Yes, sweetie. Like a bite? I know there's an ugly dog.
Cody,
Because he's really ugly.
come here, Cody.
Huh.
Bring her here.
Belle has only been with me a week. And so we're still in the process of bringing her weight down so that she's a little bit hungry, so that she'll come to step on the glove for food. And so we're at the very, very earliest stages of training. And so I've got a little bag full of tidbits here so that I can feed her little bits of training food. And this has actually been a really good test for her. Like I said, she's only been with us a week, and this is the first time that I have driven her with her hood on. And so she hasn't worn a hood up until this point, but she's got her hood on now. You know, she's been wearing the hood around the house, and we've been teaching her about how to wear the hood, but to actually transport her in the box with a hood on, this is her very, very first time. Now the whistle is the dinner bell, and so we condition them when they hear the whistle, that means there's food. And let's see if she'll eat. Very good. Now here's the trick. I have to be smarter than she is, because she's a very, very smart animal, and she will want me to hand feed her, and I will want her to step up on the glove. And so we have to be a little bit creative here to do that. So we'll get a little tidbit. There, my girl. And see, I put the glove up close to her feet, but the end of the glove away, so it makes it so she almost has to step up. She says, I'm going to think about it. Such a pretty girl. I know, you are so smart. Such a smart girl. Yes, you are. There you go. Get your foot up. That's my girl. There you go. Good girl. Yeah, this is just so much fun to watch them just start to figure things out little by little by little. It really is. It's almost magical to see them understand things. Isn't that right, Belle? What a good girl. There's the rouse. I was waiting for that. The rouse is kind of like stretching, and it's kind of like saying, "Okay, I'm ready to go." So you ready, sweetie? Mm-hmm. Of course, always the whistle. This is the dinner bell, and I kind of keep control of the creance a little bit. And this will be her very first time to the lure. So she doesn't necessarily know what the lure is. She's never seen one before. But I'll drop the lure relatively close to her, and she can see the food. And so we'll see how she responds. So you ready for your first lure training? Yeah, there's my pretty girl. There you go. Now, I love to watch the Harris Hawks because they think. And she's looking at that and she's trying to understand what does that mean. You know, there's a leather thing with a little bit of food on it. That's interesting. And says, now what am I going to do? How am I going to get there? Well, I'm going to jump on the ground and I'm going to carefully walk over because I don't know what that is. Oh, there's food. Now I'm going to foot it hard. There's my girl. Now here's a little trick, guys. You know, this is her first time, and she says, well, there's a piece of food there. That's kind of interesting, but I don't want her to think that she can carry it away. And so we step on it. We shorten the leash a little bit, so that and as you see, I'm not going to move in. I'm going to let her figure it out. I'm going to let her figure out where the food is, what the food is, and let her settle down. If I move in too quickly, you know, she will think that I'm trying to steal it from her. And that becomes a really, really big problem. So you never want the bird to think that you're stealing from them. And then you want them to give it up without any kind of a fight or harassment from you. And so I'm going to come in here and I'm going to take this little pebble and I'm going to stick some food right there on that pebble. And then I'm going to let her go to the pebble for some food. Keep the leash really short. Hi, sweetie. Let her think about it. Don't push her. Let them think about what this is and what that means, and is there, you know, because she wants to see if there's any more food. And this just takes a little bit of patience, just a little bit. That's my girl. There's my girl. Now she's let go of that lure. She's not, well, now she grabbed it again. We want her to understand that there's no more food on the lure. And that she'll give it up freely. Hey, pretty Belle. And this trail will come in really, really handy when you're out hunting and your bird makes a kill and you want to, oh, she got it. Okay, now that she's got that, we'll take this away. There's my girl. There's my pretty Belle. Good girl. The truth of the matter is, all the training's done now. She is very responsive. She's doing a great job, but she's still a very young, very inexperienced hawk, and everything is new. And so once we get the training done, where she comes to the glove and she's putting up with people and she comes to her toy, and then the next step really, and probably the most important step, is get them out into good habitat and give them lots and lots of opportunities to go out and chase rabbits, because that's what they do, is hunt rabbits. And the more that we can get them out and the more opportunities they have to see rabbits, the sooner they will start taking wild quarry. So now it's really nothing more than she and I developing our routine on, you know, she knows what to expect from me and I know what to expect from her, and we capitalize on our strengths, and that will make us both successful. And so, Belle, are you ready to go play? You are? Well, good. Let's go.
Now the point for the stick is just basically touching the bushes in case there's a rabbit in the sagebrush that they'll flush out. That's pretty good. Such a pretty girl.
Where is she? Oh,
Am I not doing my job? I'm not flushing rabbits for you, sweetie? I'm sorry. There's my girl. There's my pretty girl. Just gonna look around for a minute. Okay, well, I'm gonna keep walking. Oops. Wait for me, Dad. Isn't she beautiful? Now this is Belle. The reason we call her Belle is she came out of a captive breeding program out of New Orleans, just north of New Orleans. And so she's my little Southern Belle. And again, she's only been with me for about a month. And in that month's period of time, we have done the whole process. You know, she flies free, she hunts with me now. She has now caught 7 jackrabbits and a cottontail. Now, that may sound a little bit harsh to some people, but the truth of the matter is that's what they do. You know, this is not a captive bird. Yes, you're wiggling your tail because you're happy. Such a sweetheart. Basically, that's what they do. They hunt. These are apex predators. You have to give them that opportunity. And so she and I go hunting every day. This morning she caught her first double. She caught a jackrabbit and a cottontail today. Now we bring the jackrabbits and the cottontails back to our wildlife rescue center, and we butcher them out for food for the injured wildlife that we care for.
over here, Jack. Come on.
There she goes. Another jackrabbit. Good stoop. Oh, she got one. Okay. Yeah. Okay, we got a rabbit here. It's a nice sized jack. That's my girl. Okay. Well, here we are. There's Belle. That's her jackrabbit for the day. The rabbit's dying. She's got a good grip on it here, and I've done my thing. Now it's just twitching a little bit with the nerves, but the rabbit's dead. Now I have a bag. Bag's very important. We cover the rabbit with the bag here so that Belle can't see it any longer. And if you can see my hand right here, I've got food. This is not a whole meal, but this is a nice reward. And we're going to make a change. I'm going to put this out in front of her. I'm going to cover up the rabbit and let her make the decision, hopefully, that The food is a lot more attractive than the furry rabbit because you can just eat the food and not have to worry about all the plucking necessary for the rabbit. And so we cover up the rabbit nicely, put the food just out of reach for her. And there she goes. She's giving up the rabbit now. But I got to get the rabbit in the bag fast because she needs to, the rabbit needs to be completely gone when she finishes her little meal that I've just given her. So, rabbit's in the bag. Belle is looking at the fur on the ground to see if there's any more goodies for her. And we'll give her another goodie just to show her how much we appreciate her work. And then we immediately, this is important, we immediately walk away from where the rabbit was. We want to get away from the fur that she's plucked and the little bit of blood that was out there so that she doesn't go back and fuss over the spot where the rabbit was killed. And so now she's already back on the glove and she's already again looking for the next jackrabbit. We need to slow down and give her a little rest. You getting tired, sweetie? You getting tired, babe? Come on. Look at you huff and puff. Look at that. You're breathing so hard. There's my pretty girl. I know. Why don't you take a breather for a few minutes? I don't know if you can see, she's still very intense. Her adrenaline's going. She wants to catch another rabbit. Really bad. Hey, Belle. You down here in this hole? I can't see you. I hear you, Belle. Hi, sweetie. Did you get the rabbit? I hear you moving around down there. Okay. Hi, babe. Well, here you come. Hi, Belle. Come on. Hi, sweetheart. You're having a good time, aren't you, sweetie? You are. You're having a good time. Well, it's up to you. Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. You know, she wanted to play this game. If I jump back on the glove, you'll give me a treat. And so she hopped to the ground and then looked at me like, okay, put a treat on my glove so that I can jump back up on it. And all I had to do is turn and start to walk away, and she immediately comes back up on the glove. She decided that trick didn't work. They're so smart. There you go. There's another jack. Oh, good maneuver on that one too. Right around the bush. You really have to be extremely dedicated to it. There you go. Come on, babe. There's her rabbit. Okay, that's a fight. See how big that rabbit is for her? Okay, we got it. We got it, Belle. We got it. Good girl. Okay. Let's get... Okay. That's my girl. That's my Belle. All right. Hang it. Yeah, hang on to it, Belle. I thought we had it done, but I guess we didn't. Yeah, this is a big strong one. And I thought we had it killed, but we didn't. But we will now. Okay. There's my girl. There's my girl. All right. You got your rabbit, sweetie. There you go. Got your rabbit. Now she's going to pluck on that rabbit until she gets down to where there's some meat. And again, my job is to convince her that I've got a better idea. Instead of her having to pluck and pluck and pluck and pluck and pluck, I'm going to give her a much easier meal. And so she gives up her rabbit, just like... Yeah, we'll get you a tidbit, sweetie. Give me just a second here. There's my girl. There you go. Good girl. You had a nice little treat. You got your rabbit. What a good hawk. Belle basically came from a captive breeding program. She did not come from the wild. Even though they are native to southern Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, that's not where she came from. She came from Louisiana, and there's a captive breeder that raises Harris Hawks in Louisiana. And basically, I really didn't have much say. I know, sweetie. In fact, it's about. Would you be interested in a little dinner, sweetheart? Yeah, there's some dinner for you. Oh, you're going to eat. What a good girl. Anyway, I didn't have really any choice in the matter. You know, he breeds quite a few of them, and I basically says I would like one that would be very suitable to hunt jackrabbits, since that's our major quarry that we have here is jackrabbits. And so if a major quarry was cottontail, I'd want the smallest, a small one. Jackrabbits are quite big and strong, so I wanted, Cody, done. So I wanted a bigger, stronger bird to handle the jackrabbits. That particular breeder was quite well known for producing just good, hardy, stable Harris Hawks. And I bred Harris Hawks for a number of years. And in fact, my last baby out of my breeding project passed away about 3 years ago at 29 years old. He was one of the oldest Harris Hawks in the world, and loved him to death. And so we got an. I don't have the breeding project anymore, so I purchased her, and have been just bloody guts. She does this to me. That
goes good with our next question.
Mouse guts.
What way has Belle surprised you or wigged you out?
How does she surprise me? You know, she really doesn't surprise me. Slinging guts is, you know, that happens to me all the time. So that really isn't a big surprise. You know, she's just she's not terribly hungry right now. So, you know, she's more playing with her food than just consuming. But this is really an important part. You know, today is August 2nd, which means the hunting season starts September 1st, and so we're starting to put her into the routine to get her ready for the hunting season. And that means that we no longer feed her in the mornings, because when we take them out to fly, we fly them in the evenings, and so we feed her in the evenings. And so we start doing a lot of personal time, a lot of personal attention, getting them acclimated to, you know, people and Cody the silly dog, and just get her used to stuff. And so this is actually her first evening meal that we started in the new program. But like I said, from now on, all of her meals will be right here in my glove, and they'll be in the evenings. Now, Harris Hawks are unique among birds of prey for a variety of reasons. You know, first and foremost, that people know about the Harris Hawk is they hunt in groups. Most birds of prey, Mama Hawk does her hunting, Daddy hawk does his hunting. They bring food back to the nest, but they hunt separately. And with the Harris hawk, they hunt in family packs like wolves. You know, I've had Harris hawks for more than 40 years, and I've never had a Harris hawk that I didn't just love. They've all had wonderful personalities, and I've enjoyed every single one of them. Belle has a tendency to be a little bit larger than most Harris hawks. Belle right now is 1,265 grams. Most Harris hawks are running closer 100 to 200 grams lighter. And so she's kind of a big Harris hawk, and she's a little bit bigger feet than most Harris hawks. And so that she can handle large prey, but she's not quite as agile and maneuverable as if she were a little bit smaller. And so that's kind of the difference. As far as personality goes, you know, every Harris hawk I've ever had has been just really adorable, and I've enjoyed, you know, every single one of them. So that's really about the biggest difference, is she's just a little bit larger. Perfect age. She was about, what, 21, 22 weeks old, which is just the ideal age to start a young Harris hawk. Now they're full grown and flying at about 9 weeks, but we wanted them to stay with her brothers and sisters, her siblings, so that she would not imprint on humans, so that she would be raised up thinking that she was a Harris hawk. And that's very, very important. So she was with the breeder for the appropriate amount of time. I would highly recommend that you never ever take a young Harris hawk either from the wild or take a young Harris hawk from a breeder that is under 20 weeks old. And so she was about 22 weeks, which is just ideal. Well, basically each year together, the very first year, we are both learning from each other. The very first year, I'm trying to understand her style and her personality and the things that she likes and the things that she doesn't like. You know, my job is to adapt to her. And so each bird of prey that I work with, they all fly differently. They have different personalities, and so I need to adapt to her style and her technique and her personality. And so the very first year, there's a really huge learning curve. She's never caught a rabbit. She doesn't know how to do that, and she has to learn that I'm out there helping her. Once we kind of get into that routine, and consistency is the most important thing. Once we get into that routine, then we kind of get to the point where we start clicking and working together. Now the second year is, again, haven't flown for 6 months. They're up for their molt. The second year, we really kind of have the basics down, but it's not well refined. And this is our third season, and so now that this is the third season, the reality is that I really understand her and she understands me, and so we should really click even better. What I call the first of the golden years, and that's 3 to 5 years when both you and your bird are keyed in, you understand each other's needs. You're no longer worrying about about weights, because you understand the whole weight process, and it becomes let's just go out and have fun, and so all the stress is gone in the third year. You know, there's really nothing special that I can do with Belle that you can't do with another Harris hawk, and let me qualify that a little bit for you. I've got other falconers that I know that have Harris hawks, and could I sit with their Harris hawk and stroke its breast and be nose to nose and that kind of stuff? They'd be a little uncomfortable because the bird isn't my bird. So because she's my bird, we're able to develop our personal relationship, and so that could be a little bit different. But she's a female Harris hawk, and basically they all are really quite similar. They're all very, very good. As a hunter, she just gets smarter, and that's probably the most interesting thing to watch. Is she gets to understand the quarry better and better and better. But the hawk gets smarter and smarter with age. They understand how the rabbits run. They understand the hunting areas that we go to regularly. They understand. Well, let me give you a great example. My previous Harris Hawk that I had for 29 years, as he got more mature and we got really settled into our style and technique, well, we would go basically out to the chamber, open the door, and then I'd walk away from the chamber. And my hawk would fly out of the chamber, land on my glove. And then we'd walk around the house to the carport, and the hawk would see the perch on the scale, and he'd fly over to the scale, land on the scale so I could check his weight. And then I'd walk past the perch on the scale to the back of the car. I'd open the car, the hawk would fly to my glove, and when the car opened up and the transport box opened up, the hawk would then jump down on the tailgate of the car, jump into the box, turn around, and wait for me to close the door. And so it was just this routine that he was so familiar with. And after we've been out flying and hunting for a while, when we got within sight of the car and my hawk knew that we were done, and his name was Thumper. Thumper would fly to the car, land on the tailgate of the car, jump in his box, turn around, and wait for me to close the door. And so it was this consistency and this routine, and it was so wonderful because there was no stress. You just go out for these wonderful evening walks, let the bird do its thing, enjoy the company and the relationship that you've developed, and just relax. Would I trade Belle for anything? Of course not. Of course not. You know, she is such a dear friend, and you know, it's like Cody. You know, oh Dum Dum there. I wouldn't trade Cody for the world. You know, as silly as he is, you know, he's a member of our family, and Belle is certainly a member of the family. It would be like, you know, trading one of my children, and I just would never do that. So no, there really is not enough money on the planet for me to give up this very, very sweet, beautiful friend of mine that gives me so much joy. Hi, Dum Dum. Yes, she doesn't like you. She doesn't. She doesn't like you. It's because you're ugly and your mama dresses you funny.
If you would like to celebrate 2 years of Belle with us, you are welcome to check out her 2 playlists, which feature in detail her arrival, some of her training, hunting, and educational presentations. You may also enjoy browsing Belle's clothing and accessory line at our Teespring store. All profits from items at the store go to caring for the sick, injured, and orphan critters at our rescue center.